And members of the International Olympic Committee are gathered to pick the city that will host the 2024 Olympic Games. The biggest decision this group makes. They've put representatives from the two competing cities on stage for their announcement.
With the unanimous...
Wait, what? Oh my God! I'm actually like dyslexic because I was looking at this and I'm like, what the hell is this city? I did not even see the LA part. Paris. Wait, what? Paris has the Olympics now, but I guess this is too. So since LA didn't get the 2024, wait, I'm confused. Hold on. Because Paris has the Olympics now. There's no Paris can't get back-to-back Olympics. But anyways, I'll just keep playing it.
This decision we took.
But everyone here already knows who won.
Please raise your hand.
Every 4 years, more than 5 million people attend the Olympics, and over 3 billion watch it on TV. It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity for one city to show off, and the competition has typically been fierce. 12 cities applied to host the 2004 Games before the IOC picked Athens, Greece. 10 applied for 2008, won by Beijing, China. But since then, interest has been waning. 9 cities applied for 2012, then 7, then 5, and for 2024, only 2 were left when it was time for a vote. And for 2024...
Wait a minute. Oh, 2024. Oh my God, I'm so dumb. 2024 as in this year, and then LA's getting the next one. So the numbers, okay, so the numbers of people who care are going drastically down. They're drastically, no, I think it's just it's expensive. That's crazy. Only 2 cities wanted to host the Olympics, chat? Only 2 cities wanted to host the Olympics. They wanted the Olympics in New York? That's interesting. A New York Olympics feels like it would just be a right, you live in the city, right? That feels like that would just be a logistical nightmare. I'm gonna be honest, if I was living in New York City, chat, and the Olympics came to the city, I think I would try to just stay inside for 2 weeks. Because I think all the restaurants would be, he just said 4 million people come because of the Olympics. New York already has 9 million. So I would just stay inside for real. I would maybe go out one day to see the spectacle of it all, but all your favorite restaurants are going to be flooded. All your favorite local hangouts are going to be tourist spots now. I would just stay inside. I would go to the Olympic Village. Well, look, if you were young, early 30s, late 20s guy, early 20s, and you just want to meet some pretty girls, I'm not gonna lie, you could throw that out there. Yeah, meet some pretty girls.
Then 7, then 5, and for 2024, only 2 were left when it was time for a vote. So the IOC did something it's never done before.
Paris 24, Los Angeles 28.
Oh, okay. So that's how they did it. They were like, all right, Paris, you guys get this.
The IOC was so concerned that nobody would bid to host the games in 2028 that it simultaneously awarded the games 2024 to Paris and 2028 to Los Angeles. There used to be a strong demand to host. Now there isn't.
The Olympics are the most prestigious sports event in the world. Mm-hmm. Why doesn't anyone want to host it anymore?
Giga washed. Well, in this, I think they're going to go into, chat, the dark side of the Olympics.
So the Olympics have actually had this problem before. They originally came up with this idea of rotating the games around to different cities back in 1896 because they had to.
We didn't have international jet travel and we didn't have international telecommunications.
Andrew Zimbalist wrote a book about...
There are people that suggest that the Olympics should rotate between 3 to 4 cities. I don't know that I like that idea, BP. Just if I'm just being honest, chat, I don't think that I like that idea. And I say that because even though, chat, I do think the Olympics is kind of washed, it's still a representation of the entire world. This is not the Super Bowl where you could say Atlanta, somewhere in fucking California, Vegas, and some dome in the Midwest, Detroit. You know what I mean? To me, it represents too much to just be represented by too little, right? to just say Africa's never gonna host the Olympics ever. You know what I mean? Like that just doesn't feel right. To say, okay, it's gonna be in LA, Paris, Beijing, and Rio, and that's it. We're just going to those 4 cities forever. Like that doesn't feel right to me. There's still London. There feels like there's too many interesting and amazing cities in this world to just say, nope, Tokyo, you're never getting an Olympics because we already gave Beijing, so we have Asia covered. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do
But the economics of hosting sports mega events like the Olympics.
Toronto, you guys are never going to get an Olympics because we already have
and get the whole
LA.
world to participate and enjoy them.
As the games grew, the IOC kept this tradition, eventually developing a competition where cities would submit bids and it would vote on a winner. But when it opened bidding for the 1984 games, not a single city wanted to host because the last few hadn't gone very well. Local political protests had turned violent during the 1968 games in Mexico City, and terrorists killed 11 Israeli athletes at the 72 Munich games.
Monka S. What? Shay, I know about this shit. I mean, that's wild. If I was the Olympics, I'd be like, yeah, we're never coming back. That's how the movie, I've heard of that movie. The movie Munich. I didn't know what it was about. Dang, now I gotta watch it, VP. Yeah, I didn't know I will hold my tongue. You don't? No. I've heard of the movie Munich. I had no idea like what the movie was about. I thought it was about some countryside in like Germany or Russia or something. Like, it's a pretty place. You know what I mean? What about multiple cities at once? Unless they're all in the same country, logistical nightmare. It attends. So like you can't be like, we're gonna do LA and then we're also going to do London at the same. Like it just feels like too much of a logistical nightmare.
The Olympic Village, taking 9 Israeli athletes hostage and killing 2 others in their room.
Both incidents showed cities that hosting could be politically risky or even deadly. When construction problems and corruption led Montreal to spend more than 13 times their budget, they began to view it as financially risky too. So in the late 70s, the IOC was barreling towards disaster until one city offered to save them.
San Diego.
Under one condition, Los Angeles. So in the late 70s, the IOC was barreling towards disaster until one city offered to save them.
Had to come back to America. The Olympics went woke. Man, press 1 chat if low-key, every time some entity or something needs to be bailed out, how come America's like always the answer? Seriously. Oh, some companies got like, we must just have like an infinite, endless supply of money. Every time, the Olympics like about to not have any place to, like, we'll come say, like, bro, maybe we should just buy the Olympics. We are, by the way, like kicking everyone's ass. We don't have the most gold medals, chat. But I looked at the medal count on ESPN, and we have almost double everyone else. Like, in totality, we're fucking annihilating, which is surprising. Cope, bro, whatever. Like, we're gonna win. We win all the sports that fucking matter. Like, don't get me wrong, chat. I knew Simone Biles was good, but I was always concerned that after she left the last Olympics with the whole like mental whatever. I was like, man, is her career over? Like, is she going to be able to come back like insane? Because you only, as an Olympic athlete, Chad, you only get so many prime years. She came out and fucking destroyed this year. Like, we win the events that matter. Gymnastics, men's basketball, swimming. Those are the things Americans care about, Twitch chat. We care about basketball, women's gymnastics, and swimming, and we destroyed. We also kind of care about track, and Sha'Carri Richardson, I hate to say that, like, she choked, chat, but, like, I don't know. She got silver, man. She got silver. As long as Noah Lyles wins, chat, and he does something Yu-Gi-Oh! Related, you know, bless RNG, I will consider this a successful Olympics. As long as Noah Lyles wins gold, chat, and does something Yu-Gi-Oh! Related, not only will this Olympics be successful, but I will also get another video out of it. So yeah, Noah needs to win, and it has to do something. He has to do something Yu-Gi-Oh related, so I can make another Yu-Gi-Oh video. I can make another video out of it. All right.
Under one condition, Los Angeles did not want to spend a lot of money.
Hey, what?
Los Angeles did not want to spend a lot of money.
So they hosted the Hood Olympics? LA was basically like, yeah, we'll do it, but we're not spending any money. That's crazy.
To do that, it offered to use venues it already had instead of built new ones.
Coliseum.
The LA Coliseum, where the USC football team played. The Forum, where the Lakers played. UCLA's gymnasium and tennis center. And the athletes could just stay in the college dorm rooms. Since the IOC didn't have a choice, it said yes. And was soon glad it did.
Okay, hold on. Why is this like the only country that has ever done this, chat? Because my understanding is that no one wants to host the Olympics because you have to go out and build all this extravagant shit for the Olympics. Basically, like with not Beijing. Basically, like what Brazil did, right? With Rio de Janeiro. But LA was like, no, just use the shit we already got, and you guys can stay in these shitty college dorms. Like, why doesn't why doesn't other countries just do that? Because we care about sports more than everyone else. Okay. Swimming. Long jump.
The 84 LA Games were a success in almost every way. But especially financially. It only cost around $1 billion in 2015 dollars. And LA even made a profit. This should have become the model for future Olympic host cities, but instead...
That's what I'm saying! LA actually made a profit? That's crazy. I have heard, chat, consistently for the last decade that the Olympics will lose you hundreds of millions of dollars. And like LA was like, nah, we're gonna actually make a profit out of this. They made $250 million. Like, yeah, I would just tell the Olympic Committee we're not building any more if they wanted to go to Chicago, we're not building any more stadiums. We're gonna use Soldier Field and wherever the fuck the Blackhawks play and where the Bulls play. You're gonna use all of these arenas we already have. There you go.
It sparked the problem that is plaguing the Olympics today.
It's interesting how many of these sports and politics stories really boil down to economics. If you recall, the Premier League story is a story about a warped economic system. The NFL is so successful because it created a new economic model for sports leagues. If you haven't seen those videos yet, give them a watch. If you haven't subscribed to Search Party, now's your chance. We publish every 2 weeks this summer, so I've been working from all over the place. I've been writing scripts on trains. I've been animating on airplanes. I'm headed out this afternoon on a really exciting reporting trip, but I'm going to be in a hotel the whole time. That's why I'm really excited to work with Surfshark.
It's an ad. Oh my God, I knew it. I was like, this is an ad.
Again, it's also back to the
that it re-inspired. LA did such a good job hosting the 1984 Olympics that it re-inspired cities to want to host again. For the 1992 games, 6 cities submitted bids, then 6 again for 96, 8 for 2000, then a whopping 11 for 2004. As more cities competed, the IOC regained leverage over them again. But instead of sticking to the LA model, it began demanding more. Between 1992 and 2020, the IOC added dozens of new sports to the games. This required more venues and housing for more athletes, which host cities were primarily responsible for paying for.
Bruh, just wait, chat, until Yu-Gi-Oh gets added to the Olympics. Just wait until the Olympic esports or the esport Olympics, which, as we mentioned last stream, chat, that's officially going to happen, chat. Like, esport Olympics is going to happen. It could be at LA, but Yu-Gi-Oh Master Duel will be an Olympic sport. Probably.
As the competition intensified.
We can have players complaining about Maxi on an Olympic level, Twitch chat, because Maxi will still be legal.
5 cities felt increasing pressure to make their bids more attractive. The most effective way to do that was to build new venues. Sydney built 15 new venues plus housing for 10,000 athletes. Athens built 22 new venues, and Beijing built 12. All of this construction made hosting the games really, really expensive. This chart shows how the cost of the games skyrocketed over the last 30 years, reaching between $10 and $25 billion in the last decade.
I want to
That's insane. So you're telling me in the 80s, LA was like, we're not building anything new, and it's gonna cost us $1 billion. And then someone else built everything new, and it cost them $25 billion. Like, this is the problem with the Olympics. It's like countries just started being stupid, chat. Like, okay, you don't host the Olympics, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean?
add one big caveat to this chart, though. It only includes sports-related costs to the games. It doesn't include things like new public transportation or development projects that most all these cities spent money on for the Olympics. If we include some of those costs, these bars are actually way higher. So, for example, some estimate that Beijing spent more like $45 billion for their 2008 Summer Games. Russia spent more like $51 in 2014, and Tokyo's bill is more like $35 billion. No matter what number you use, though, all of these cities went way over their initial budget, which the bidding process incentivizes them to keep artificially low.
What they have to do is make initial statements about the intentions and the plans that are very reduced. Once the politicians say, yeah, okay, we'll go along with this, then they start adding the bells and whistles. And those can be very, very substantial.
The revenue cities generate from ticket sales, TV contracts, and sponsorships only cover a fraction of these costs.
So why do people want to host? I'm really trying to grasp this. Is this just for like flags, or is this because like if you're the mayor, then you're guaranteed to like win another term or something? Because I just don't understand how you can condone your city unless you just want to be like you feel like it's for the history books. We get to say that, you know, hey, we're China and we hosted the Olympics in 2008 and that's good enough for us. Now we don't need to do it ever again. But I just can't condone, chat. You're talking about maybe $7 billion in like revenue, but you spent $50 billion. Cool. You just went $43 billion? Like, how do you condone that? It makes you legitimate. I think it did that for China, BP. Because, like, here's the thing, right? And this is, I promise you, Adam, you guys can't be like, oh, Cap, you're being Zionist or whatever. Do you guys feel like China has really taken like a huge step forward, chat, in like the last 15 years in terms of like infrastructure and stuff? Because I feel like you never really got to see China publicly, chat, like 20 years ago. Like China was not a place where they'd be like, all right, we're going to host this giant World Cup or whatever. And they have all these modern cities and it looks pretty as hell. Like that didn't start, chat, until like 15 years ago, or at least in like the last 20 years. I don't know. Some of you guys might be like, Cap, I don't remember 20 years ago, but America has always been like that, chat. America has always been kind of a glamour country where you can go to our biggest, prettiest cities like New York and LA, and they want to shoot movies there and they want to host events there. But China wasn't like that. China was not a place that you'd be like, yo, let's host the Olympics there. You know what I mean? Maybe the winter ones, but not like the glamour ones, the pretty ones this summer. So they have empty cities. No, I feel like it's because China has like, and again, maybe it's because they spent $50 billion, chat. It's because they spent all this money restructuring everything. But I don't know, that just feels so glamour centric. And I can't condone spending all that money on, not while I got people starving in the streets and stuff. And I'm not trying to get like woke or anything, but to me, it's economics. Like, again, if it's a World Cup where it's just, build 3 soccer stadiums, like, okay, cool. We can build 2 soccer stadiums for like, $4 billion. That's nothing. We'll make that back just in ticket sales and revenue. You know what I mean? So I'm not trying to build no damn or spend money on a fucking luge track, chat, that we never gonna use ever again. You know what I mean? Because you build stuff for the Winter Olympics, and you use it one time and then you fucking never get to use it until like 20 years after that. And then by the time you use it again, the shit is decrepit.
Meaning these governments and really their taxpayers are on the hook for the rest.
Exactly. Some of you may die,
It
but
doesn't look like a good economic deal.
But host cities have known for decades that they'll likely lose money in the short term.
Economically,
Instead, many have been told that hosting the Olympics is an investment that will pay off in the future.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the IOC's webpage where they list the benefits of hosting the games. And they use this word legacy.
What? Anime Night says we should host the Olympics in Taiwan. Anime Night, that would probably be the worst ever. There's like 5 cities that like, or 5 like Taiwan or like those would be actually the worst Olympics ever. There's just way too much political heat. They don't have the infrastructure. That can't work. That can't work.
A lot. And by legacy, they mean things that will continue to benefit your city long after the Olympics are over. Take sports facilities. Beijing justified.
Ukraine had the Olympics. Yeah. I know Ukraine is like kind of a mess now, Chad, and they're having like a war, but Ukraine did have the Olympics. I think Russia had Ukraine had the Olympics a long time ago, but Russia had the Olympics like 2008 or something like that.
Spending around $460 million on this new 90,000 seat stadium by planning for a local pro soccer team to use it after the Olympics. London did the same when it built this stadium. At first, seems like a good idea. Other legacy projects are meant to benefit even more people. Russia spent $8.7 billion on a new rail and highway link into Sochi for its Winter Games. And Rio de Janeiro spent $4 billion on a new subway line connecting a beach community to its Olympic Center. The most commonly touted legacy benefit is that hosting an Olympics is a great way to kickstart your city's growth.
What historically came out of the public relations with regard to the Olympics was that this was the most wonderful thing that could ever happen to a city. It puts your city on the world map, so it will increase tourism, it will increase commerce.
So this is what BP is saying, chat, is that when you host the Olympics, it's supposed to like legitimize your city, that even to the level that even after the Olympics, people want to go there. Now, I would argue that like, I don't think the Winter Olympics does that, because who vacations in the winter, Chad? That's like kind of fucking weird. You know what I mean? Unless you just got like tons of money. But like most people want a vacation in the summer, right? When it's nice outside and you can go to the beach and the weather and stuff. So, you know, it's like, oh, let's go to Rio de Janeiro. They had the Olympics a few years ago. That's cool. That's like what it's supposed to do. I didn't want to say white people, but like, yeah. The only people who vacation in the winter, Chad, is like fucking rich white people. Because like, who does that? Like everybody else vacations in the summer like normal. But, you know, I don't know. It just seems like a hefty bill.
It will increase foreign investment, and that story turns out not to be true.
RIP.
Let's start with tourism. A 2004 study found that after experiencing a bump in tourism leading up to their respective games, Atlanta, Sydney, and Seoul all saw it fall afterwards. In his book, Andrew cites a 1996 study on 3 Olympic Winter Games that found that the long-term impact on tourism was between non-existent and very modest, and a 2010 study that found little evidence of any benefit to tourism of hosting an Olympic Games, and considerable evidence of damage. In other words, being on TV can backfire.
If the weather is particularly too warm, or if it's too cold, if there are security incidents, too warm, or if it's too...
What is too warm? California is too warm? That's not even a thing. I mean, I know too hot. Too hot's like the desert, but what is too warm? New Orleans? I mean, that's just because we got freaking humidity that'll kill you down here. Too warm's not a thing.
Too cold. If there are security incidents, if there are bad stories about the traffic, some cities are able to maybe help their image, but other cities are hurting their image.
Many legacy infrastructure investments haven't paid off either. Russia's rail project is now considered an epic failure. And Andrew argues that while Rio's subway line benefits some residents, what the city really needed was a line serving the lower income neighborhoods inland. But that's not where the Olympics were.
The typical case was that the IOC comes along and they say, we need these 30 venues. We want you to put them in ways so that transportation is facilitated and other conveniences are allowed. And so what the city would have to do is contort itself in order to accommodate the IOC.
Empty stadiums are a particularly visible sign of this mismatch that Beijing Stadium...
Is that why they lost the Expos, really? Montreal arguably lost their baseball team because of the Olympics. Oh. Did they dump all their money into the Olympics, but then they couldn't get the Expos like a new stadium or whatever? I didn't know that.
had about 80,000 more seats than what the local soccer team could fill, so it backed out. Now, the stadium sits mostly empty, costing the city some $10 million a year to maintain.
Oh my God! This is the part that frustrates me, Chad. This is the part that I actually like. This genuinely makes me mad, and I did not know about this until I watched a video on Rio. So maybe too much of my hate is like directly associated with Brazil, because Brazil was like the first one, or the first time I became aware of this. But this is like the issue, right? And I don't think this would happen in America because we got so many sports leagues. But yeah, they do this. They build these giant stadiums, and then the stadiums don't get used. And it's like, oh yeah, remember that $3 billion stadium we built? What do we do with that? Nothing. Do something with it. You paid for it. You built it. Do something with it. I mean, yeah, obviously using the stadium, chat would, it costs more to use an active stadium with like electricity and stuff. But bro, do something. I don't know. Fucking do something with it. That's all I'm saying. Do something with the stadium. You paid $2 billion for it. Do something with it.
Stadium sits mostly empty, costing the city some $10 million a year to maintain. This is what's called a white elephant, and there are now dozens of them across Olympic host cities. These are venues left over from the Athens 2004 games, and ESPN...
Press 1 if let me live in it, chat. Let me live... Yo, real talk, let Cap G live in it, for real. It costs you $10 million just to, like, upkeep a stadium. Let me live in it, for real. Exactly. Host YCSs in these venues. YCS, I don't know where this is, but what's it called? Also, I mean, I hope it doesn't rain. I mean, I could still be in the seats if it rains, but what's it called? Be the groundskeeper to pay for your... I don't know. That actually seems like a lot of work. You know what I mean? If it was like a small portion, clean this section of the seats, maybe, but like, this is a lot of work.
ESPN found that 12 out of 27 venues in Rio de Janeiro had not held an event a year after it hosted the Olympics. For many residents, white elephants are evidence that hosting the games is a waste of money.
The idea that had been out there forever and ever, this is wonderful news for the city. They get to do this. No, more often than not, it's going to be the opposite.
By 2015, city residents were ready to do something about it. The IOC had 6 cities bidding for the 2024 games until protests forced Boston.
They were going to go to Boston? Huh. They were going to go to Boston, chat. Boston Olympics. That is interesting.
Boston and Hamburg to drop out. A new mayor in Rome fulfilled a promise to shut down its bid. Then more than 260,000 people signed a petition that led Budapest to drop out as well. It left the IOC with just 2 bidders, and once again, little leverage. The IOC has since passed reforms that it says reduce the cost of hosting, largely by requiring hosts to use existing and temporary venues, like LA did back in 1984.
There you go.
And allowing them to partner with other cities. As of now, Paris doesn't look like it will blow its budget, and LA's organizing committee is saying that the city can again pull off an on-budget Olympics. But the question is, if they do, could it spark another bidding war?
I don't know if we'll go into a big cycle like we did after the 84 games. I do think it's possible that there'll be a small turn. It'll appear less undesirable than it has.
The IOC has also stopped taking bids and instead negotiates with cities privately. It picked Milan and Cortina, Italy, over Stockholm for the 2026 Winter Games, and it gave Brisbane, Australia, the 2032 Summer Games. But
wait, what? We already know where the other Olympics are going to be? I didn't know this. So the Olympics are going back to I was honestly, Chad, I was like, hold on. If there's no market, then America's about to have the Olympics for like 12 years in a row. Like, America's just going to have the Olympics. Like, it's going to go from just LA to Chicago to New York and rotate for like 3 cycles. But I guess they're going to Australia, and I don't know. Wait, we have YCSs in Milan, Chad. What country is that? Is that Spain? And then we have one called Cortina. Wait, no, it can't be Spain. That's too hot for Winter Olympics. It doesn't snow in Spain, does it, Chad? Like, what country is this? That's Italy. It snows in Italy? Really? I didn't know that. Chad, it snows in Italy? I had no idea. Italy, Milan is in Italy, or as I call it now, chat, Italia. The river freezes over. It snows a lot. I'm just be honest. Maybe this sounds dumb. I did not know it snows in Italy. How do you think the Alps are? Or do you know what? Yeah, but no. I've heard of like the Alps, but you always hear of the Swiss Alps, not the Italian Alps. So I thought like, I don't know. I didn't know it snowed in Italy. I thought that like there was a large part of Europe that just didn't get snow. Like I would assume up here, whatever country this is, like you get some snow maybe up around this part, but like down in the southern part where it's kind of near Africa, like I wouldn't think that you get any snow. That's Italy. No, up here, whatever this thing is, this can't all be Italy. Yeah, this thing right here, whatever this is.
For the 2026
would
Winter
know.
Games, and it gave Brisbane, Australia, the 2032 Summer Games.
I never
And
heard of that
some
place.
are arguing for a more permanent solution.
I think it's perfectly plausible to think about building the Olympic Shangri-La with its 35 or 40 venues for the Summer Games, smaller number for the Winter Games, in one place.
Some believe Greece, the historical home of the Olympics, would make a good permanent host. Others have mentioned LA since it has so many venues and has
Yeah, I was gonna say as cute as Greece is, Shaq, because Greece is like what started the Olympics. Y'all know how poor Greece is as a country. Like Greece don't got no money to build this shit. Greece is like, yeah, maybe my national Bank of Greece stocks would go to the moon if they got this, but like, you guys know how fucking poor Greece is as a country, chat. Greece used to be real awesome, but there's a lot of, not dynasties. There's a lot of empires in Europe, chat, that used to be awesome, like the Roman Empire, and now they suck. So my first thought is if you were going to pick one location, the location you pick is Los Angeles. Because one, California by far has the most money. And two, they have the most venues. California already has all this shit. So they don't have to build anything. All they got to do is just, what's the word, chat? When you're not rebuilding something, you're just kind of like, not even restoring it. You're just renovating. You're renovating. You're renovating it. And they got a freaking new football stadium. They just SoFi is what, like 3 years old or something like that?
Smaller number for the
Yeah,
Winter
it
Games,
renovated.
in one place.
Some believe Greece, the historical
Dominican
home of the
Republic?
Olympics, would make a good
Also a place that doesn't have the money for it. And then I don't think you'd want to host the Olympics in somewhere that might get hurricanes anime night, because the Olympics does take place in kind of like hurricane season, the summer one. So like you don't want to host it in a city and then like boom, you get hit by a hurricane and like the games are done. Miami could do it. Also hurricanes.
good permanent host. Others have mentioned LA since it has so many venues and has done so well in the past. A
Hurricane
permanent spot would
sports.
eliminate white elephant projects, save cities from going into debt, and reduce the game's environmental footprint. But it could also reduce much of the excitement around each new Olympics.
It's not going to be easy to go to a model that makes environmental sense and economic sense. But I do think it makes sense to talk about it and put it out there as someplace that we should be heading.
Depending on how the next few Olympics go, it might be the only direction left.
Huh.
All right, thanks everyone so much for watching
This
episode
was really
15.
interesting. It went a lot deeper than what I thought the initial, it's just too expensive. Because I really had no idea, chat, that LA basically told the Olympics, like, we're not building anything. You will take our bid and you'll like it. That's like so gangster, chat. They basically told the Olympics, like, y'all don't have any other options. We will save this shitty event, you know what I mean, by not spending any money. Wow, that's cool. Best thing California ever did, chat. They basically fixed the Olympics, and then the Olympics instantly got ruined. It got ruined